Okay, so we're going. Okay, so now center. In order to, so have you added styles to things before?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit fuzzy on that because I haven't done it in a few months.
And so add a style based off how you know how to add styles.
Like in here?
Yeah, add a style to the, actually add a style to the div that makes it center itself on the screen.
I don't remember how to do that. Can I pull up stuff to help?
Well, I can just help you through this
Okay.
stuff, but and so when you want to modify the visual properties of the script, the easiest way is you use there's different attributes, right,
Mm-hmm.
of all this stuff, and the style attribute is just a bunch of different. It's almost like a subcategory that has a bunch of different attributes within it that you can access. And so that's how you create the style attribute. And then within that, you add all the specific style attributes. So
Center?
like, well, height, or I mean, that'd be position, right?
Okay.
And this is what Chrome is super good for, because then you can go into here, you can go to elements, and then you can click on whatever you want to change. And so let's say Control copy, save that, and we can go to elements, and then you can click on your handy dandy div, and then in here you can start playing with styles, and then see automatically. Oh well, that's my style. I spelled position wrong. And so you say like position, and then there's different types of positioning, and so for simplicity, we're just going to do absolute positioning. Okay, and so right there, you see how it automatically like put that in for you,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that it's terrible spelling. Okay, so let's just redo this, and so now try that, and then press tab, and then it jumps to it. And then you can say absolute. In absolute positioning, all that means is that it's going to put it on the screen exactly where you tell it to.
Mm.
Okay. Well, that actually might not be the. Let's just do fixed. Because fixed, it can be somewhat relative, whereas absolute, you like have to say like this pixel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so now you're going to say. Oh, I don't know. It's a positioning thing. And so you're just going to center div CSS. And so W3 schools is totally legit and works for everything. And so this is a class. Don't worry about that yet. Right, 0 with heading. But you know all this kind of stuff, right?
It's familiar, yeah. I'll brush up on it this week.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. So I think you already know like the base, and so we're good there. The next thing is, and so just like look up how to center stuff, and like that gives you an idea. You have like height, 100 pixels, and then I think that's the way you end it, and then like width, 100 pixels, and stuff like that. And then, don't do that. And then you'll have something that you can also do is that there's a style tag. And in the style tag, you can set styles for the whole style sheet. Okay, so for example, you can do, you can set, do you know what classes and IDs are?
It's familiar. But
Yeah. All right, so there's two basic ways that you can assign a general category to something. There's a class and there's an ID. And so And what I mean by assign a general category is that you can get a list of attributes and assign that to a certain class or ID.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then you can
So, like, you could have, like, all the paragraph text be, like, a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's so there's different ways that you can do it, but essentially the basic way, like what you're just talking about, is you'll assign something to an entire like HTML element or something, and that's just doing this. And so this is going to apply to everything that's H1.
That's H1.
And so now we're going to change the color to purple because that's the greatest favorite color. Then you can put it into here. And now everything H1 will be purple. So then we can have another H1 dude.
And the style tag will apply.
And the style tag will apply. Okay, just catching that so fast. But if you do something that's like an H2, no go. My friend. Okay? And so that's how you do that. And then if you want to get more specific though, then you use classes and IDs. And like you can get pretty convoluted with all these. But
can you like, is that where you like assign kind of like a variable name to like specific stuff and then treat it the same way as a class, or no?
Yeah, sort of. So class, don't associate class and CSS with object-oriented programming class.
Okay.
Like, that's not the same.
Okay.
It's more like associated as a descriptor that means classification.
Okay.
And so, or I don't know what it means, but it makes more sense to think of it that way. Because basically you're just setting up a classification that's going to apply to like a class of a whole category or whole classification of like elements. And so the way that you declare a class is by using a period. And then you name the class whatever you want. So name the class something special, like you can do it on your computer.
So the class name doesn't matter?
No, it's whatever you want it to be. I mean, usually you want to make it something that makes sense for what you're trying to style, right? And so let's say you're making a list, right? And so you want the list to be like, you want the same every single time, right? So you want the header to be a certain thing, always. Certain class, certain attributes. They all want to look the same, right? And so create one for that. Create a header class. So list header would probably be a decent name because it's descriptive.
Why is it better to say list header?
Because, I mean, header is pretty generic. I mean, that's what these things are called.
Okay. But
it doesn't really matter.
Why would I do that rather than just like doing it to like an H1 or H2 or like whatever
Because
I categorize as?
Because the H1 is going to apply to every single H1. So what if in your list items you have like you want multiple different types of fonts and you don't want like a header or something that is that big, and so you just want like 3 different paragraph text things and you want them all to be different.
Okay.
But you want a certain classification of those text things to be the same. And so it's a list header, and then you set the attributes within it. And so what do we want to call list header? We'll make the list headers blue. So now, when we take these, and so no different, right? But if I add now a p tag, so is my friend. It's going to represent your friend one a day. And so this is going to be your friend, and then the way that you apply a style is you say class equals, or the way that you apply class, and then you say whatever the class name was. So you say like list header. Oh, look at that! It's so smart because it saw it. Intelligent sensing. Okay. So now you refresh. Oh, it's blue. Isn't that incredible?
Uh-huh.
And now you can just add all kinds of stuff right here. Go ham on it. What else do you want to happen to that thing?
In here or in here?
In here.
I don't remember any other style stuff.
So just tell me what you want to do, and then I'll walk you through what it's probably doing. You want to change font?
Font.
So that's font. Hyphen.
Dash.
Yeah. Family.
Oh.
And then colon, right? And then say the font families like sans serif or something, or whatever you want. Or serif, there you go. And then you gotta put the little semicolon. Then you can save it and then refresh it.
Wow.
So maybe you spelled font family wrong. It's a difficult word to spell.
Isn't serif what it already is, though? Timba.
Yeah, that is what it already is. So change it right here, except now you got a better list.
There we go.
Oh, changed it. Okay,
Oh,
now
what
press
did it?
tab. And now I think this will actually do the whole persistence thing, maybe. Nope. And
So I still
so
have to change it.
you just have to go copy it. Yeah, I think it's based off what it said on the website. It sounded like it has to be it has to be an external style sheet. So what we're doing up here, which is good because like this helps you control your styles better, right? So that you don't have to put it like on every single one or whatever. And so what you're doing right here, this is in a style tag, but nowadays you put it into a style sheet. And I'll show you how to do that next time. But it's the same exact thing as this. And this is what CSS is. And so HTML, I think, used to only be like tags, and you add like styles to each tag, which must have been miserable. And then you have like something long. But no, you don't have to. And so the last thing that I'm going to go over tonight is IDs. Now, a class and an ID to the unexperienced eye is going to look like the exact same thing.
Okay.
Okay? The reason why is because it kind of is the exact same thing.
Okay.
But the expectation when you use an ID is that you're using it for something very specific. And so the ID is essentially what you would put for one element, style or whatever, like this thing, how we're setting styles here, like manually. You never want to do this. And so if you want to do it for just that one, you should do it with an ID. Okay. And so let's ID this thing. The way that you ID something is you put a hashtag and then call your ID something. So we'll give an ID to mother so that it's different from dude.
So can I just call it mother? Will that distinguish that?
Yeah, you can call it mother. I mean, it's not very descriptive, but you don't have to
What
use
would
this for
be-
your homework assignment.
What would be more descriptive?
Well, it's whatever you want to call that title. I mean, that could be your main page style, right? So you could call it something that has to do with being the main page style.
Okay. Somewhere it's function. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And so call it something that makes sense. You don't look very happy. And so now open and close the brackets.